We are Group 9 from 21C. I'm Yawang, the moderator, and my group mate will be KESHMA, Sharumathi, Sugasini, Manisha, and Divya. Based on the task given, we will have a debate regarding a few ethical issues. For a start, I would like to discuss the decision made by the government of India to declare India wins against COVID-19, although there was uncertainty of the real situation. Is it an ethical decision? For me, I disagree with it. It's an unethical and irresponsible decision. Even though the government has the intention to recover the economy and bring back the lifestyle before COVID-19, however, it might endanger the people. This will totally increase the risk of being infected in the community. What's your opinion?
Disagree as well, because making false and or misleading claims for the political gain can be seen as a breach of ethical conduct, especially during public health crisis. This situation involve balancing public health and the safety with economic or cultural interests. And the government should implement and enforcing measurements such as lockdowns and social distancing and restriction on gathering.
My opinion, I disagree, because it will be dangerous and maybe misleading the public announce victory over COVID-19 before having a complete understanding of the current situation. Decisions about public health need to be supported by exact data and evaluation of the current situation. Uncertainty could result in false information and impact efficient among the pandemic management.
Opinion, the primary ethical responsibilities of any government is the safety and well-being of the citizen. Even though declaring India win against COVID-19 is helpful to the economy, but it's not safe for the health of the public. Ethical decisions should consider the long-term impact on public health. Therefore, I would disagree with this declaration.
Here, I am partially disagree due to the India's election on 2021. That's because of the India's declaration of founded the vaccine for the COVID-19, even though it is to cure the virus that spread all over the countries, but at the same time, it gives such a big image and popularity for the current ruling government party and that time period. So the Indian government even established themselves in front of the people as the possibilities of the current ruling party could be displayed them as the greatest and be elected and rule over for the few years. That's why I'm partially disagreeing for this statement.
Okay, in my opinion, I also disagree, because declaring victory over the pandemic is a complex decision that involves assessing various factors, including public health data, scientific evidence, and experts' opinions. The assessment of victory should really be based on transparent and verifiable data to ensure a public trust. So I disagree.
All right, all of us disagree with this. This decision really put their people in risk. So how about the Indian citizen decision and religious group to push for ease of the rules for lockdown, to allow them to return to work and hold festival to honor their religion? Does it bring a positive impact to the Indian citizen? For me, it's no. Even work and religion is important to us. However, we have to make sure we are safe and healthy. Nobody would like to see the numbers of deaths raised due to COVID-19. So what do you think?
From an ethical consideration, the situation should be involve balancing public health and the safety with the economy and cultural interests. Government should have the responsibility to protect the health and of their citizens and prevent the spread of the virus.
My opinion is, I agree that what you are saying seems believable when it comes to festivals that are important to both culture and economy. Religious organizations may push for the same relaxations of lockdown and restriction that citizens frequently support in order to resume their work. During difficult time like a pandemic, public opinion and economy factors influence these demands. In order to restore back to normal situation, the government prepares vaccinations and masks for the public to prevent from COVID-19.
So, in my opinion, easing lockdown restriction and allowing people to return to work can contribute to economic recovery. However, allowing religious and cultural celebration can have positive effects on the mental and emotional well-being of individuals, fostering a sense of community and tradition. Therefore, public should follow the COVID-19 protocols to avoid the spread of COVID.
As for my opinion, since the sudden lockdown of COVID-19 was such a foreign thing to handle for the Indian people, That's why the Indian people and religious group pursue the government of India to loosen up the gripness of the strict lockdown, at least to let them work peacefully and visit the religious places as they please, to celebrate their festival and special days. But at the same time, I disagree with this statement because this could be the moment for the religious groups to earn more income. Indian people had been tend to believe that whatever happens, even though it is good or bad one, that depends on their gods.
Okay, in my opinion, I disagree because this might stem from a public health concern. The easing of lockdown measure can lead to increased social interaction and a higher risk of COVID-19 transmission. So I disagree.
All right, some of us agree and some of us disagree with this. So, do you agree the decision by government of India to ban export of vaccine to other country when there is shortage of vaccine for local usage? I agree with it. The citizens of a country are all about a country. The first concern of the government is to make sure the needs of vaccine in the country have been fulfilled to ensure every citizen get protected by the vaccine. So, what do you think about it?
I partially agree in this matter. In order to address the vaccine shortage, shortage is a policy measure aimed to prioritizing domestic need. This action can be seen as a response to the urgent need to vaccinate the population within the country. But from a business ethical perspective, it is important to consider the balance between domestic and global responsibility.
I agree too because one common tactic to address urgent public health needs is the governments of Indian decision on give local vaccination distribution priority over export while there is a shortage. In the time of health emergency, nation frequently put their own citizens first to cure this COVID-19.
As we know, India is one of the most populated country. In my opinion, it might be a good decision to prioritize the vaccination of its own population to control the spread of the virus and protect public health. However, COVID-19 is a global health crisis, which requires a collective response, and vaccine distribution should not be limited by national boundaries. Besides that, limiting vaccine exports may impact a country's global image and diplomatic relationship. So I disagree with the statement.
Also agree with this statement. That's because of India, they just temporarily restricted the exportation of the vaccine to ensure that there is enough supply of vaccination over their country. So all this ban of the vaccine exportation was happened only for the purpose to save their own people from dying, since there is cost lot of sacrifices after the second wave of the COVID-19. So in order to control this movement, they much more prioritized their efforts on the domestic level, which was only prioritize the people.
Opinion, I also agree because of public health priority. If there are critical shortage of vaccine and a high risk of a local overreach can be viewed as a strategic involved to control the spread of virus within the country. So I agree.
All right. So, what do you think the decision by vaccine manufacturer to breach the contract that they have entered as instructed by the government of India? Is it the right decision? For me, it's the right decision, but it's a bad news for the party who have ordered vaccine. But the people have to be the first concern of the government. So, what do you think?
I think it's right because the vaccine manufacturer faced the legal issue. The suits for the late delivery with the term end of their contract can be seen as a consequences of breaching the ethical practices. Ethical business conduct including in fulfilling contractual obligation, meeting the agreed upon deadline, and maintaining transparency and accountability in the relationship.
I didn't agree or disagree, but I think the scenario you described demonstrated difficulty encountered during the second COVID-19 wave in India, including elements that contribute to the outbreak, such as politic developments and religion celebrations. It's critical to confirm any report that vaccine producers have been broken contracts with credible source. If this is true, it raises major issues since in the time of global health emergencies, it is critical that contractable obligation will be followed.
So I agree because in cases of emergencies such as public health crisis, governments may need to take extraordinary measures to protect public health. If the breach is a response to a genuine emergency, it might be seen as a necessary action.
This statement, since they already did the agreement with the other countries, actually saving their own people is the main priority for the country. So that's why they even told the vaccine manufacturers to breach the agreement to ensure that their own peoples are safe over the exportation. By doing this, it is the fastest way to control over the COVID-19 virus spread all over the country after the second wave of the COVID-19.
So in my opinion, I agree because if the breach is in line with explicit instruction from the government and is deemed necessary for public welfare, that may be understanding and support for such decision. So I agree.
Okay, we are agree with putting the people as the first concern. So the decision made by other country to ban export of raw material to produce vaccine to India in relation of the acts by Indian vaccine manufacturer. I cannot agree with this decision. The decision maker of banning vaccine is the India government, but not the people of India. It is an against humanitarianism.
Right, I partially agree because it is important to consider the balance between the national interest and the global responsibility. While countries have the right to prioritize their own population, it is also crucial to ensure equal accessible to vaccine worldwide, particularly in the face of global health crisis.
Yes, I agree. It makes sense that nation will prevent the export of raw materials in response to India's limitation on vaccine exports. When the dynamic of the vaccine supply and demand shift, nation frequently respond by taking matching actions. The global distribution of resources during a public health crisis and diplomatic concern may have an impact on such decision.
Said previously, I agree with the act because government have responsibility to safeguard the health of their citizen. Taking measures to secure enough vaccines for the population is a crucial aspect of public health policy.
I disagree with this statement. That's because of the restriction of exporting vaccines was only temporary. That happened due to the shortages of the vaccines for the local of the Indias. However, the Indian government has announced their victory over COVID-19 to win over the people's trust and heart for the upcoming election of the 2021. Even export them to the other countries. But at the second wave of the COVID-19, it made them even more complicated over things that even brings of catastrophic due to the religious occasions and political rallies that occurred during the first wave of the COVID-19. So I'm disagreeing with the statement that the other countries ban the exportation of the raw material to produce the vaccine in India.
Also disagree because of global cooperation. Restricting the export of raw material of vaccine product could be seen hiring global efforts to combat the spread of virus. So I disagree.
All right, the last issue for our discussion is what if the same situation happened in Malaysia? What would be the ethical way to handle the situation? In my opinion, the export of vaccine cannot be totally banned, even if the same situation happened in Malaysia. That's from
Restricted vaccine export can be impact the ability of the other nation, particularly those with the limited resources to access the vaccine.
Okay, I have like few moral approaches to address this circumference in Malaysia. First, maybe they can have open communication, which is continue to communicate with the vaccine producers in an honest and open manner. Second, can have the collaborative problem solving, which is to find and fix the core causes of the problems, collaborate with the manufacturers. This might mean traveling over the terms of contract again. And lastly, maybe they can make public health as a priority. The health and welfare of the general population should come first. Make sure that timely deliver administrations are given priority to all the actions. So
Okay, so in my opinion, it's true that it's crucial to ensure equitable access to vaccine worldwide. But if export restrictions are necessary, prioritize the needs of vulnerable population globally. Consider allowing export for humanitarian reasons, especially to countries facing severe outbreaks or with limited resources to procure vaccine.
In my opinion, make sure there is enough supply of vaccination for the locals. That's because of the country have to prioritize much more the people's health management to compromise the provident future for them. And not only that, ensure that safety and needs of the people align or not. The government should give a tight grip in order to control things, which is the COVID-19 virus spreading all over the country. Make sure the people are safe and sound over the virus spreading over the country.
So in my opinion, I also agree because of rule of law. Uphold the rule of law and adhere to contractual obligation, a legal framework and agreement should guide decision to maintain a trust and stability in international relations.
Thanks for the participation and valuable opinion. That's all from us.